Hi, welcome to Ski Talk. I'm Steve, your host. I'm the ski buyer and CEO here at skis.com. And joining us today is Ray Skelton, our Dalbello rep. Thanks for joining us, Ray.
Thanks, Steve.
And in my hand is the Dalbello KR2 Fusion with an ID liner. This is the part of the Krypton series, which has gotten a lot of rave reviews over the years. This is just a full-on great ripper boot for that guy who is a good skier, but it's a 98 last, so this is a tight-fitting boot. This is a guy for maybe an ex-racer, or the guy who's got a narrow foot or wants that really super tight fit, right?
Right, absolutely.
But I want to talk about C4. So you guys have done some things that allows that tight fit to not necessarily have those pressure points or pain that sometimes people have associated with such a low last boot.
Yeah, C4 is really unique. We started doing it in our race boots a couple years ago, but what it is, in a nutshell, is C4 stands for Comfort 4 Fit. There's typically 4 key spots that you have to, grind.
I know one of them is right there where your sixth toe is, right?
So what we did is these 4 spots. One is the sixth toe area, so on the outside of your foot where your foot might feel wider. We also punched or shaped by the navicular bone, that bone below your ankle. We shaped the ankle bone, the inside ankle bone, which is one of my key spots that's always trouble. And then the other one is right above the heel, where a lot of people will get rubbing in a boot and create a problem there. So the boot is shaped and fits a foot out of the box really well.
It's also got some other interesting things going on. You got buckles that go in 2 directions. You've got only 3 buckles instead of 4. You've got a 3-piece boot. How does that all work together?
Well, there's a lot of things that happen here, but one I'll hit on is 3-piece, because this is the 3-piece boot in the industry. And what the 3-piece boot is you have a lower shell. And the lower shell comes up about this high inside. Then you have the rear cuff. The rear cuff, though, the key thing is the super low hinge point. It allows the cuff to flex absolutely pure and anatomical, the way that your leg meets your foot. And then the third thing, which ties it all together, is an independent tongue, which is ribbed, and it's also made out of nylon. It's a nylon polyamide. And a lot of people say, well, Ray, what's that all about? Well, what it is, this black material here is polyurethane. That's good, tough ski boot material like you make racing boots out of. It's solid, it's strong, but what it does is when you see it rebound, it rebounds slower. And what the nylon tongue does, different than any other boot material, is nylon is super highly resilient. When you flex forward in this boot, the nylon tongue snaps back with incredible speed. So when you drive into let's say you drive into a mogul, or you're jumping off a cliff, or wherever else that you need that rebound, that's what the nylon tongue gives you.
Now, this has got an ID, that particular model doesn't, but we're selling it with the ID liner.
Right.
Which is a full heat moldable custom fit liner.
Right, 100% moldable, every single centimeter of your foot.
All right, and any other features we missed on this boot? Well, talk to us about why the buckles go in 2 different directions.
What Steve's talking about, there's two unique things with the buckles. With the 3-piece shell with this low hinge point, first of all, you have the cable buckle here, and that cable wraps around one of the ribs and it draws you back into the heel. It gives you the best heel hold down in the industry. And then the other one that Steve thinks is pretty unique, and we joke about this, is the front buckle. He said, they put it on backwards. Well, what we did is years ago when we first started building freestyle boots, these kids are out hitting rails and boxes and things that might flip a buckle open or break a buckle off. And so we reversed the buckle, and it prevents most of that.
But it's not necessarily a free ride boot. It's really for that all-mountain skier, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, guys say, well, Steve says, it's not freestyle. I'm not skiing park with this. But hey, you might be brushing up against a tree, a rock. You're out hiking boot pack, which will flip your buckles open. So it just turns out it's a very logical and great buckle.
All right, so a 120 flex to start out with. That's definitely on the very stiff side. Who's this boot? And you can actually adjust the flex on it as well, right?
Absolutely. The flex is adjustable from 120 all the way up to virtually 140, 150. You can basically block it. In the back of the boot, the lower shell splits. They call it spines, and out of the box, there's no block in that spine. If you put the boot into the next position, when the spines are split, you put a block into it.
Which is in the box, so it comes with the boot.
Comes with the parts, and it makes the boot stiffer by about 20% or so. Then you can go to an upper position, which blocks the flex entirely.
It basically turns it into cement.
Yeah, almost like a racing boot. So this boot can literally be sold to any high-end skier of almost any weight. So you can take it and have a all-mountain ripper, and you can have an all-mountain ripper that is the biggest, strongest guy on the hill.
But this boot is not for the faint of heart. This is for a good, serious, high-performance skier.
This is any upper-end skier that's going to ski the best places in the world. That's the Fusion.
Great. Well, thanks, Ray. That was a great explanation on that boot. And thanks for joining us today on Ski Talk.
Thank you.